Okay, cool. So I'm going to be talking about from cold to close, because I honestly think that if you can master this is what makes you a PMD. I actually said this to Dan this morning. Nobody has got to PMD from their friends and family. That's a fact. So everybody needs to learn this. And I think the quicker you learn this, the better. And that's why I always say to people, if their friends and family don't buy the product or don't join the business or whatever, I say good. Because I think then you have no choice but to learn how to do this. It's what happened to me. No one that I knew wanted to buy the products. I think I got my best friend got a pity order shake, and that was it. And from then on out, I had to learn from the very beginning how to get your cold market. So I'd probably say that's like my strong point. So I'm going to start with that. And then Dan, what are you going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about the importance of consistency. And what was it? We had it written down a minute ago. DMO, you're doing DMO.
Yeah, you're doing consistency of 90-day game plan.
Yeah.
Can I just say, look at little Luce. I love her so much.
What a legend.
Oh, doesn't that remind you of when I was in hospital?
Yeah.
And she's just so friggin' lush.
There's no excuses, is there, really?
Yeah.
What an absolute trooper.
Oh, I literally love her. Okay, so I'm going to do about cold to close. I'm going to use a whiteboard as a little prompt, but I know you can't read it, but hopefully it will be a visual thing. And please take notes on this, because this will be good to teach your team. I honestly believe this is something I've kind of made up myself, and I know I've referenced it before, but I just think that you can't drill this into your own brain enough. So if you think of what we have to do as a triangle, okay, at the top, you want to write the word adding. So draw a triangle. Adding, obviously, I'm going to say this for the sake of new people as well. Adding is one of the most income earning activities you can do, because without it, you're speaking to nobody. Olivia Measures started a brand new Facebook when she started. I don't recommend that people do that, because I think you're kind of taking a step back. But it just goes to show that in the last 3 years, she's got 5,000 friends, and I think she has over 40,000 followers. And that's from a brand new Facebook. So you can't blame it on the fact that you don't know many people, you don't, have many existing friends, because you can go and get them and go find them. So adding is one of the most income earning activities you can do. On the bottom corner, you then want to put posting. If you're not posting, your audience don't know what's going on, they don't know who you are or what you're about. And then chasing or following up likes is the third thing. Okay, so we've got adding, posting, and chasing. And the reason I put it in a triangle is because one without the other doesn't work. So for example, if you're adding loads of people and chasing up all the likes that you do get, but there aren't many, it's because your posting's not good enough. Or if you're posting and chasing up the likes, but you're not adding people, then you're not open enough to a big enough audience to get that. You'll probably say, oh, I'm not getting enough likes to chase. So you feel like, again, you're not getting anywhere. And the same if you are, what's the one I haven't done? Whatever way it works out. If you do one without the other, it does not work, okay? You could have the most fantastic posts. You could have Olivia Measures standard posts. But if you don't have a big enough audience and you aren't following up with those likes, then you won't get anywhere. So hopefully that's really clear. I think these three things work in sync, which is why they are like the fundamental things to your DMO. Now, the thing I want to say about DMO, which is daily method of operation, is you need to know what it is, because you need to know your strategy. This is obviously a massive thing that was talked about last weekend in Manchester at the, I can sit back down actually, at the Six Figure Summit. It was about knowing your strategy, and it's kind of like, well, what's a strategy? A strategy is whatever you do to keep you consistent on your social media. So I have my DMO, I write it every day. It's different every day. It does have a few fundamental things, which I'll go into. But you need to know what your strategy is. If you think, and you don't need to answer this out loud, but just think to yourself, if you kind of think, I sort of just wing my posts, or if tomorrow you don't know what you're going to post tomorrow, you don't have a strategy. Okay. Yes, some things are impulsive, aren't they? Like, you be out and about, you'll be like, oh, that makes a good post, I'll bang that on. That's cool, that's great. That's what you should be doing. But you need to have a sort of fundamental outline of what your posts are going to look like. Whether it's, so for example, I know I post my DMO every day, but just to show you an example, like today I put that I wanted an interactive post. So I want something that's going to create lots of people to comment on it. So I asked girls to recommend where they buy their clothes from. I don't need them to recommend where I get clothes from. I know loads of websites. I do it on purpose. Yeah, or I'll put like a funny meme that I know will get loads of interaction or loads of shares. So I'm constantly thinking like, okay, I'm going to every day do an interactive post. So I've written down, think smart. What would get good likes? So I'm going to give you examples of me. It's not because I think I'm great. It's because obviously I can only relate to myself. So yesterday, me and Dan weren't doing anything with our day. It was a bit miserable and I was in a bit of a funk in the morning. So I got up, I did my exercise. So I did that in my body boot camp group. I went and had a sunbed and cheered myself up. Come home, we had no plans, did we? So I was like, right, if we're going to stay in all day and watch films and not really do anything, I need to get good likes out of this. So we brought the mattress down into our living room. We made the bed. We even went and got the Dreamies out the cupboard to hold them up and shake at Moni so she turned around for the photo, and Dan took a picture of me in the bed. It got something like just under 100 likes. But so I'm thinking about the likes. So I know you people will joke and say, do it for the likes. That's what we're doing. It might sound silly, but the reason I say work smart is because if you can build your profile up throughout the day with good likes and good comments and good interaction, you then can hit them with a direct asking post. So if I know I've got good interaction today on my profile, I can then bang on in a minute an asking post like, who wants to drop a stone in June? Comment yes. And you can guarantee that I will get more likes and comments than I would if I did it on a day where I didn't get good likes, just because of the way Facebook works. So you have to really think ahead about what you are going to do that day and how you can get good interaction. Sometimes you have to do things on purpose. You know, if like we'll go to a restaurant and Dan will take a picture of the menu and say, what shall I have, guys? Well, by the time people are still commenting, we're home in bed. We've eaten the meal. But the whole point is that people like to give their opinion. It was even on the radio today. People like to give their opinion, so let them. So ask questions and put things that people can interact with. Then I want to talk to you about how you go from cold to close. So once you've mastered this, you're adding, your DMO is sorted, you've got your strategy, you know how to get good likes.
By the way, you'll never master it.
Oh no, you're always practicing.
Yeah. And
some days are rubbish and some days are good. It's just the way it goes. And you're chasing up your likes and you're posting. Once you kind of got that, you're then in conversation with people. So you've started to get people interacting on your post. They've liked your platinum plan testimonial, or they've liked a picture of your shakes, whatever it might be. When you're messaging them, so someone asked me a day, they said, hey, can you tell me about the platinum plan and how much it is? And I went, yeah, sure. What's your goal? So I ignore them, right? It's not, you're not being rude. You're bringing it to be about them. People like to talk about themselves, so let them. But you must always bring it back. That's the first question you should ever ask someone. What's your goal? So write that down, because I've got it written down in my book as well, because I always refer to it. So number one, what's your goal? They'll then obviously tell you what their goal is. Oh, well, I would like to be healthier in general, maybe have better skin, and I'd like to lose a stone. You go, great, that's achievable with our plans. And then this is where you add in, I personally, or you say, or if it doesn't relate to you, relate it to someone in the team. So I say, yeah, that's great. I personally lost 2 stone on the platinum plan, so you can definitely achieve that. So I've completely overcome any objection she has about if the product works, because I've said I did it myself. If a girl said to me, oh, well, I've got really bad eczema, I'd like to clear my skin up, I'd say, yeah, babe, that's totally achievable with our premium capsules, because my friend Em did it. Yeah, here's her before and after. So you can always use it even if it's not you. So it goes, what's your goal? You tell them it's achievable and you relate it to you or somebody else. They then, once they've told you that, you then say, what's your budget if it was to include breakfast and lunch? This is more so for weight loss. What's your budget if it would include breakfast and lunch? And the key line that I've like, this is where I think I've mastered some sales lately with this key sentence. I say, because I don't just want to suggest the most expensive plan if it doesn't suit you. Okay, so you say, What would be your monthly budget if it included breakfast and lunch? I don't want to just suggest the most expensive plan if it doesn't suit you. And I promise you that is the game changer for me personally that I've noticed, because what that says is I'm not seeing you as a sale. I'm not trying to get your money. I'm not just going to suggest the most expensive thing that you can't afford. I'm here to help you. So I honestly believe that if you use that line, it will make a huge difference. And then I use lines like this. So this is where I'm trying to like wrap it up and get them to say yay or nay. I say things like, how does that sound? Or I say, what suits you? If I've given them the budget bracket, if they said, well, what are the plans cost in general? I say they range from $115 a day to $375 a day for the platinum. Where in that budget suits you? And then because it's all about them. You're saying, what suits you? How does that sound to you? And then I would say, do you have any questions before going ahead? So I'm making the assumption that they're going to order. So it's just these little, literally little language things that can change your whole conversation. And the final key thing really is that you must ask questions. So often we send messages like we say, hey, Han, thanks so much for liking Becky's progress picture. She's done so well. If you'd like any info, give me a shout. Well, if you change that to, hey, Han, thanks so much for liking Becky's progress picture. She's done amazing, hasn't she? Have you ever considered using one of our plans? Or did you like it because you were interested? Or would you like any info? Because you've changed it to a question rather than saying, if you want any info, give me a shout.
Yeah, it's like a rhetorical question.
Yeah, they feel like they can ignore you because there was no question. If you add one question in, they feel like they need to respond. Even if they say, no, thank you, I was just being polite, you'll go, no worries, thanks so much. And you've still got a nice relationship. So always add a question in. I know lots of you have been saying you like my book, but if you don't have a book like this, you can do it like Ria's done it with her diary. You just do the layout the same. You must do it every day though, because it's really key. So I know you can't see it. I write product business. So I write the names of the people.
Try and let them see it.
Names of the people that I spoke to that day, my DMO is written below, and then anything else on the bottom that I achieved that day. So for example, this was last Monday. My goal was a teamie and a sale. I signed up Paris, but I also spoke to another girl. I spoke to five conversations about product, not as in I messaged 5 people. I had 5 conversations about product. I set the incentives. I did my DMO. I had a Zoom with Emma. A Zoom with Paris, a Zoom with Ria and Wesley. I rang Liz Hockley in the office. I had a coffee meet up with Mike, Lucy, and my new team member, Lauren Self. So that was so I can look back at last week and know what I did. And then, for example, I think I said in the group, I had a bit of a funk the last couple of days, which I'm sure loads of people can relate to. Work was just so busy for me. Thursday, Friday, what happened? Thursday, I spoke to nobody. That is awful. I'm so ashamed of that, but I'm just going to tell you, I didn't speak to anyone because I was so busy at work, and I let it get the better of me. I still did my DMO, and I watched Olivia's webinar, but other than that, I didn't really have new conversations, which really pissed me off. And then Friday came, and I only had 2 conversations, one about the product, one about the business. I didn't finish all my DMO, and I didn't achieve that much. So on Saturday, I felt in a right funk, the funny thing is I can look at that and know why I was in a funk. And so what did I do Saturday? I did some exercise. I had a sunbed. I came back, did my DMO, made my DMO longer on Saturday. And then from it, I got a goal plan and a fruit and veg order that day. So it does work, like if you need to get out. So I suggest everyone has something like a book they have for every day, whether it's a diary or a book. And the other thing I'd recommend, because I think these are the only 2 things that you actually need. Oh, it's over there. Can you grab my little customer book? Is a customer book. Because even though some of you have only got a handful of customers, trust me, in a few months' time, you'll forget who they are. And I know loads of you already do this. This is my customer book, so it comes everywhere with me. It's got month by month. So you look at that. January, I got two customers. And I was like, what? That's crazy. It should have been the busiest month of the year, but I wasn't working as hard. And then I go through month by month, and then you can see it just gets bigger and bigger. But now what I can do is when I want to send like my postcards, I go through, look in my book, or every week, every Monday and Wednesday, I catch up with my customers just from looking at my book. So I honestly think if you've got your DMO book, where you're going to track everything you do and you've got the customer book, you're pretty much sorted. So I hope that made sense, because I feel like I've probably just rambled, but that's how I go from cold to close. If you can't get, if you need help with posting, find people that you like. So follow Olivia Measures, follow Cassie Smith, follow Katie Renner, all these people. Have a look at their profiles and see how you can duplicate it in your own way. And just have fun with it. If you'll notice, if you're asking, it's just you don't look like a quality rep. I actually had someone message last night to me, a guy that we went to school with, who I haven't seen in ages, messaged me saying, Harriet, I don't know how you and Dan do it. I hate Juice Plus stuff, but every day your profile makes me smile. And that, to me, that's the goal. It's not to be a Juice Plus rep. It's not to get sales. It's to make people feel like they want to follow me, regardless because if they don't buy Juice Plus and they don't join your team, then they're a fan and you want raving fans. So I just think you just need to build your profile up so that you would want to go on your own profile and find something interesting. And on that note, she's going to tell me off later. I'm going to mute Emma. I know she's going to hate it because she's scared, and I've asked her to share. Sorry, Emma, but I'm doing it for your own good because I love you.
That's fine. Can you hear me?
Yay! Okay, so I've asked Emma to speak because if any of you have looked at her profile, it's so aesthetically pleasing, and I know she puts loads of time into her posts. So I just want her to share, briefly, where you get your pictures and ideas from, and what you think when you're planning a post.
So there's a few different people that I follow. There's a few people in the industry that I follow. I really like Cassie Smith, and there's another one, Sophie Hughes. I think she's based out of Australia, but she's from Manchester originally. And she's in charge of, I think it's the Bombshells, and all of her stuff has honestly, it's all kind of pink. And I really like to follow her and see what she's saying. And I just feel like as long as you're following people that you really enjoy seeing, you're not going to obviously take all of what they're doing, but I feel like you can recreate in your own way. Obviously Pinterest is massive to me. Whenever I have any downtime at work, I'm a hairstylist, so I get a few minutes between clients and stuff, and I can always look through there, the Pinterest boards and just motivational stuff. But whenever I'm posting a picture that isn't mine, I'll always post an inspirational quote along with it, because I feel like just posting a random picture really doesn't do too much. But if you say something that really, it's going to resound with someone, not everybody, but somebody, I feel like it's always going to catch people's eye. But like I told Harriet the other day, as soon as I wake up, I feel like my mind's already churning on what kind of picture I'm going to post or what I'm going to say for the day. Or I always try and do at least one really pretty picture, and then a personal picture, and then a transformation, and then I hope to always do 4 to 5 pictures a day. But yeah, that's really it for me.
Love it.
It works.
That's great.
Yeah, it does, because it just, after this, go have a look at her profile, because it looks lovely to look at, and you would go on there and go, I want to follow you. It just looks nice. I want to follow you. So yeah, definitely check it out. Thanks, Emma. I'm sorry I did that to you.
It's okay.
Cool.
Okay, so first of all, I just wanted to shout out for Harriet, because let's look here at the perfect Juice Plus rep. Okay, so hold your books up.
What are you going to say?
Hold your books up.
What do you mean?
These 2 books.
Oh.
Okay, so what does it take to be a Juice Plus rep, right? Are you going to be killing do this month?
Yes.
She's got the right mindset, okay? Do you look after yourself? Are you well dressed? Are you working out and representing the product every day?
Yes.
Are you documenting your journey and being self-disciplined with your DMO?
Yes.
And are you looking after your clients and putting them first before anything?
Definitely.
Are you working your fucking ass off?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have all of these contributes towards your business, then you're going to smash it. I honestly believe that. The mindset, being a product of the product, being organized, being self-disciplined, and having insane work ethic is why she's going to make $5,000 this month, including her Q&D bonus. Okay, so with this business, you are underpaid to start for what you have to do. So all of this hard self-disciplined, be your own boss, work your own hours shit work will be greatly rewarded down the line. And you have to understand that mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship. So what people have the mindset of when they go to work and have to do 9 to 5, they're trading time for money. So on 7, 8, 9, 10 pound an hour, and they get paid straight away because at the end of the week or the end of the month, they get that income. But you have to be prepared to work for under the amount of hours that you're actually doing right now with this, to eventually down the long line create wealth, which would be an asset which will put money in your pocket whether you work or not, like Alex got on 50 grand a month. So shout out to Harriet first of all, because like she allowed me to quit my job, and now at the moment, like I feel as if I've always been the one out of the two of us that's been like the stronger, like, come on, let's do this. But right now she's like dragging me along. So it's actually just like inspiring me, but she's kind of like covered everything. And when it comes to messaging and stuff and what to say in this triangle is absolute killer. And I haven't really got much more to add except the fact of consistency. And Jim Rohn always talks about the harvest, planting the seeds, watering your seeds, and then reaping the harvest. This is something that I've experienced recently. Last month, I was focusing on sales and I got like 15 sales, but what I really needed to go L&D was team members, frontline team members, and I didn't get any. And
which is unlike you, isn't it?
Yeah. Since I started, I haven't had a month where I haven't done that. I've always recruited 2 or 3 every single month for the last 2 years, but last month I didn't get one, and it really, really pissed me off. So my accountability buddy, Chelsea, signed up like 3 to 4 girls, and she was loving life, and I was really jealous. But anyway, this month, she said to me, how are you getting on? And I've signed up 2. I've got 3 more in the pipeline to join, and she hasn't signed up anyone.
And
I was
you've
like,
done sales.
And I've done my 825, which is good for me. So what I was thinking about this is, why does this happen? And like, how come she smashed last month and I didn't smash last month, and I'm smashing this month and now she's struggling? And it goes back to this. So do you want to be the cameraman? Hold it up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is what it comes back down to. Okay, so consistency. Can everyone see that?
Okay, can you put the light on? Because I actually think, because it's your face and stuff now.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is why it's important. You have to make sure you can see.
Yeah, they can. The whiteboard, yeah.
Okay, so this is why it's important on day 1 to day 90 to work really, really hard. So each one of these lines represents a day. If you miss one day of not doing your DMO on one of the days, guess what? In 90 days time, on that day, nothing will happen. Does that make sense? So the 100 people you add today will be the maybe 2 out of those 100 will either become a client or a team member in 90 days time, because you've built a friendship and you've offered them the opportunity or the product. So if right now you're not getting anywhere, you're not getting any sales or team members, you need to be working the hardest, because you get paid in 90 days for what you do today. So Chelsea smashed it, obviously 90 days previous to last month, because she had brand new seeds, loads of new contacts, loads of new interaction, and the harvest was flooding in. Now she's exhausted her harvest, all her crops have been reaped, and she has to go back out and plant all those seeds again. So what happened for me last month was I was in the seed planting stage, and now all the seeds that I watered are coming through, and I'm going to have 3 to 5 new team members frontline this month, hopefully more if I keep going the way I am. So if right now you haven't got anywhere, but you're not doing this, the adding, the posting and the chasing, then in 90 days, don't come to me saying I haven't got any team members or sales, because this is the exact blueprint on what needs to be done every single day. So what I'm saying is consistency, self-discipline, and patience to trust the process of, I must work hard today to get paid in 90 days time. When in the real world of 9 to 5, when you physically work from 10 to 11 or 11 to 12, your wages are going up £7, £7, £7. But in this, they're going up in 90 days time. So if I want to go NMD, IMD, I have to go like crazy this month to get 5, 6 front line and help those 5, 6 front line get to SDD or SC to bring me the volume for IMD. So if right now you're going for SC or SSC, plant your seeds today and get paid for them in 90 days time. But if at any chance you miss a day or a weekend, in 90 days time, you're going to lose that amount of seeds. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Dan always says to me, which is something that really sticks in my mind, that every day of the month is worth 3% of the month. So, for example, those 2 days where I didn't speak to anyone, I wasted 6% of the month, and that is scary. You lose 3 days, and that's 9%. That's nearly 10% of what you could have done. So, for example, if you find that you just miss your goal, you just miss your position, it's all because you had that day, 2 days, 3 days where you didn't do your DMO. And it's not to say you have to be crazy insane workers where you don't have a life. I think you can market your life really well if you're smart about it. But yeah, you have to think ahead, and you have to know your strategy and know what you're going to do and be consistent with it.
I think that with that subject of like work-life balance, I think that if you do this business right and have fun, you can have a very heavy work to fun balance because you'll be enjoying it.
Yeah.
So for me, our work-life balance is work 24/7, but guess what? We fucking love it.
We do what we want when we
want. And also if you want to be PMD and you want to be NMD, that's the equivalent of a gold medalist in the Olympics. Do you see Usain Bolt having a day off?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? They're all pushing themselves so hard. So if you want to be the best in your field, then there are no days off.
Yeah. But just to reverse that, if you're on this call and you're thinking, I don't want to be a PMD, I'm doing this for an extra £100 a month, then take what we said with a pinch of salt, apply, the same thing applies, but on a much lesser scale. So you don't need to be so intense.
And also, I've just one on the subject.
Yeah.
There's a really cool documentary on Netflix about Warren Buffett's life, and he's the wealthiest man in the world.
Yeah.
And there's a particular split-second scene in this documentary that talks about how Warren Buffett acquired his wealth. And basically, he has a his firm. I can't remember the name of his firm. What's it called?
I can't remember.
Basically, let's just call his firm firm.
Creative.
So, but if you look at him, he's an investor and he owns businesses. So he's got all of these businesses that feed him income. That
it's like Coca-Cola. He gets paid on Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, Amazon, eBay, all of these companies are the companies that he invests in and owns, and he gets paid on. And do you know what I thought when I saw this? It's exactly the same as our business. You go and recruit all of these businesses and you help them become successful, you get paid. And that's what Warren Buffett does, the wealthiest man in the world. And that's exactly what we do. So we've got an opportunity here to create wealth and become business owners and eventually investors. And, you know, like John Holloway, he's got Emma Snedden, Katie Ravey, Emma Karen, Carly Peace. All of those people are the reason why he's on 50 grand a month. And there's no reason why we can't do the same.
Definitely.
Cool. It's insane. I love it.
Did anyone have any questions or anything they wanted to share?
We've got half an hour to Lila, which will be fun.
So, what I think is really great about tonight, I did contemplate asking someone that's like a PMD. That's no disrespect to Lila, but I actually thought it'd be really good to interview someone like her. Obviously, she's doing it full time now, and she's really relatable because she's someone that's worked in retail, done shift work, built her business to SC whilst full time at work. So try and get people on. I know Ria's done the status as well, but anything to do with like, do I know anyone that does retail? Do I know anyone who works shift work? Things like that is a good way in to find people. And then you just send them a message that I just said to Ria about. It was literally just something like, hi Han, thanks for liking my status. Tonight at 9 PM I'm doing a live video interviewing a girl on my team who quit her retail job and is now full-time doing what I do. Would you be interested in checking it out? And then people are like, yeah, sure, sounds good. So you've only got to say that as a follow-up. But yeah, I think that's it.
That's it, guys. Let me do a selfie of us all on the call with our whiteboard for social media, okay? Get in here.
Oh, don't we have?
3, 2, 1. Smile on the cameras. Awesome. I'm going to tag you in that post, and we'll see you guys on the Zoomie at 9 in the business.